Every morning, he sketched the same woman, yet she never noticed him. Until the day she missed her train. Leo wasn't just a commuter. He was an artist disguised in a business suit. His briefcase held not spreadsheets, but a well-worn sketchbook and a collection of charcoal pencils. His subject, a woman with a bright red scarf and a book always in her hand, was his daily muse on Platform 9. He called her the Reader. He captured her lost in thought, the way she'd bite her lip when a chapter got intense, the gentle smile that played on her lips as she turned a page. His sketchbook was filled with her, a silent chronicle of a connection only he felt. He knew her schedule by heart, the 8:15 a.m. express, always the third car from the front. But he never dared to speak. What would he even say? "Hi, I've been drawing you for 6 months." It sounded less romantic and more like the opening of a police report. So, he kept his distance, content to be her secret admirer, her unseen artist. One Tuesday, the routine shattered. The 8:15 a.m. express pulled in, doors hissed opened, and then closed. The train departed, but she was still on the platform, frantically searching her bag. Her usual calm was replaced by a visible panic. This was his chance, a terrible, wonderful, heart-pounding chance. Leo's feet felt like lead, but his heart screamed at him to move. He closed his sketchbook, tucked it at Hawaii, and took a breath that did little to calm the symphony of drums in his chest. He walked towards her, his mind racing, rehearsing 1,000 opening lines and discarding them all. He settled on the simplest one. "Miset?" "It?" he asked, his voice a little shakier than he'd have liked. So looked up, her eyes wide with frustration. "My ticket. I can't find my ticket anywhere. It must have fallen out." She gestured helplessly at the crowded platform. "I have an extra one," Leo blurted out, the words tumbling out before he could stop them. It wasn't exactly a lie. He had a monthly pass, but he also had a book of single-ride tickets for emergencies. This felt like an emergency of the heart. Her face, etched with worry, softened into a look of disbelief, then immense relief. "Are you serious?" "You do that for a stranger." Hust smiled. "We're not total strangers. We take the same train every day." A flicker of recognition crossed her face. "You're the man with the sketchbook." Leo's heart skipped a beat. She had noticed him. "I am," he admitted, a blush creeping up his neck. "I'm Leo." "Clara," she said, her smile finally reaching her eyes. "Thank you, Leo. You saved my day." As they waited for the next train, the 8:30 local, the platform didn't feel like a waiting area anymore. It felt like the beginning of a new chapter. The 20-minute journey on the slower local train felt shorter than the usual 5 minutes on the express. They talked about everything and nothing. Her love for classic literature, his passion for art. She worked as an editor for a small publishing house, which explained the constant supply of books. He confessed his dream of one day leaving the corporate world to paint full-time. He learned that her red scarf was a gift from her grandmother. He told her that he found her expressions, while reading, to be incredibly captivating. He didn't mention the sketchbook full of her portraits. Not yet. That felt like a conversation for a second date, or maybe a third. As the train pulled into their station, a comfortable silence settled between them. "So," Clara began, a playful glint in her eyes, the man with the sketchbook. "When do I get to see what's inside?" Leo laughed, a genuine, happy sound. "How about over coffee? There's a little cafe near my office. We could go this evening." Clara's smile was all the answer he needed. "It's a date," she confirmed. That evening, at a small table tucked in the corner of the daily grind, Leo finally opened his sketchbook. He watched her face as she turned the pages, expecting embarrassment, maybe even a little fear. Instead, he saw wonder. She traced a finger over a sketch of her laughing. A day he remembered well when she was reading a particularly funny passage. "You see me?" she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "No one's ever really seen me like this." Leo realized he hadn't just been drawing a stranger. He had been capturing the essence of the person he was falling for. He had been sketching his future, one pencil stroke at a time. He had captured her concentration, her joy, her quiet contemplation. Each drawing was a frozen moment, a testament to the silent attention he had paid her for months. Clara closed the book gently and placed her hand over his. "Leo," she said, her eyes shining. "These are beautiful. You're incredibly talented." The compliment meant more to him than any praise he had ever received. It wasn't just about his art. It was about his heart, which he had laid bare on the pages of his sketchbook. "I have a confession," she said, leaning in closer. "I noticed you too. I always thought you were sketching the architecture of the station." They both laughed, a shared moment of misunderstanding that now seemed incredibly endearing. The barrier of the platform, the identity of strangers, it had all melted away. They were just Leo and Clara, two people who had found each other in the most ordinary of places. The missed train wasn't a mishap. It was fate's way of pushing them together, of turning a silent admirer into a potential partner. Their coffee date turned into dinner. Dinner turned into a walk through the city, its lights twinkling like fallen stars. They talked for hours, sharing dreams and fears, stories from their past, and hopes for the future. Leo felt a sense of rightness he hadn't experienced before. Being with Clara was as natural as breathing. He didn't have to pretend to be anyone else. He was just Leo, the artist, and she was Clara, the reader. Antojeter, they were creating a new story. A story that began on a crowded train platform, with a missed train and a shared ticket. As he walked her to her apartment building, he knew he didn't want the night to end. "So," he said, echoing her words from that morning, the woman with the red scarf. "When do I get to see you again?" Clara smiled, a brilliant, beautiful smile that he knew he would want to sketch 1,000 times over. "How about tomorrow morning?" she suggested. Platform 9, 8:15 a.m. But this time, let's miss the train on purpose. And so, Platform 9 became their spot. It was no longer just a place of transit, but a destination in itself. Some mornings, they would catch the express, sitting together, sharing a newspaper or reading from the same book. Other mornings, they would deliberately miss it, grabbing coffee and breakfast at the station cafe, savoring the stolen moments before the day began. Leo's sketchbook started to change. It was no longer filled with sketches of a mysterious woman from afar. Now it was filled with portraits of Clara smiling at him, of them holding hands, of shared laughter over a silly joke. His art was no longer a secret observation. It was a celebration of their shared life. He was still the painter on Platform 9, but now his muse was sitting right beside him, her head resting on his shoulder, helping him choose the perfect shade of blue for the morning sky. Their love story was a quiet masterpiece, painted with the soft strokes of charcoal and the bright colors of a new dawn. Every train that came and went was just background noise to the beautiful composition they were creating together. A portrait of two souls who found each other in the daily rush, all thanks to a single missed train.